Welcome to the Creepily Accurate Astrology Podcast, where there is only one thing that is creepier than a peep in time, and that is the accuracy of its astrology. This is where the stars just don't guide you, they reveal. And if you ever felt the uncanny accuracy of astrology, baby, you are in the right place. This podcast is hosted by your girl, your favorite professional astrologist, Crystal Jackson. This podcast dives deep into the blueprint of the planets, the stars, the zodiac signs, and the accuracy of astrology. This is the things that influences every aspect of our life, from the moment we are born to the decisions we make today. This is about understanding yourself and becoming empowered. That's what this is about. And remember, as above, so below. Okay? And thank you guys for tuning in to the Creepily Accurate Astrology Podcast. I know your time is valuable. I'll be very mindful how I spend it. Now let's get into the episode.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. I feel the love for sure. Welcome to the Creepily Accurate Astrology Podcast with your favorite host and professional astrologist, Crystal Jackson. That's right. See, there's only one thing that's creepier than a peep in time, and that is the accuracy of astrology. Understanding how astrology can lead to self-empowerment is another creepily accurate wow factor. But in this podcast, we break all that down. We to understand astrology, whether you're beginner, advanced, or you're just here to understand your zodiac sign. You are in the right place. So let's get this empowerment through this astrology, and let's get wowed out by the accuracy of it all. Thank you for joining the podcast, and don't go nowhere. Be back with the episode before you can blink your eyes. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in again to the Creepily Accurate Astrology Podcast with your favorite host and professional astrologist, Crystal Jackson. This episode, we are going to talk about home, the houses of the astrological zodiac system. All right, so get prepared, get comfortable, because we got a little bit to go over. There's a few different aspects I would like to cover. So just if you could stay with me, I would deeply appreciate it. The first segment, we're going to talk about the 12 astrological houses. Just a quick journey through the cosmic realm. Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, I did want to say something else before I got into the 12 houses. So the last episode, we talked about the elements and modalities, and I really meant to get into the compatibility of the elements. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit, or I want to go deeper. So I'm just going to real quick just give it to y'all. Okay, so we got fire, earth, air, and water, right? So hear me out. Fire fuels air. Fire douses water. Well, water douses fire, I'm sorry. Fire fuels air. Water douses fire, and air breathes life into fire, right? Fire scorches earth. So fire scorches earth, they're not compatible. Fire fuels air, they are compatible. Water douses fire, they are not compatible. Air breathes life into fire. Then you got air. Earth. Earth is too slow for air, not compatible. Earth becomes fertile with water, they are compatible. Earth is scorched by fire, not compatible. Earth harmonizes with water, compatible. Then you got the water. The water douses fire, right? Like we just said. But water harmonizes with earth, compatible. Water is frozen by air, not compatible, and water fertilizes earth. Last but not least, air breathes life into fire, air freezes water, air moves too fast for earth, and air is fueled by fire. Same thing. So earth and air earth and air is not compatible. Earth and water is compatible, earth and fire isn't. Fire and air is compatible. All right, thank you guys for that short moment. I figured that's something that you might want to know. Probably make it a little easier to remember the compatibility, especially when you're doing aspects and things like that. Or when you're looking at your chart and you're seeing the different elements. Okay, now we can get into the houses. Okay. So, and I'm going to start with the houses first, although I'm working a little backwards from where I'm trying to get to. So, but it's important. Now, out of all the astrological elements, the houses was the easiest for me to learn. It was a simplicity that I put behind it that helped me to be able to understand it. But I'm going to give you what I got right now, my notes, okay? So the first house is the essence of self. This is the ascendant, a glimpse into your outer persona, your physical appearance and personal identity, initiate new beginnings and projects. That's the first house. The second house, material possessions and values, personal finances, nurturing financial stability, core values and self-worth, investment and material accumulation. Then you got the third house, communications and intellect, siblings, bonds, neighbor connections, effective communication, learning, education, mental abilities. Then you got your fourth house, home and family, the foundation of your emotional security, ancestral heritage, family dynamics, finding comfort and stability in domestic life. Then you got your fifth house, creativity and self-expression, unleashing your inner artist, romantic relationships and love affairs, joy, pleasure, and recreation. Sixth house, health and daily routine, maintaining physical well-being, work ethics and professional responsibility, service and contribution to others. Then you got your seventh house, partnerships and relationships, romantic partnerships, finding your other half, the significance of your marriage and contracts, balancing self and others, interpersonal connections, the mysteries of life and death, intimacy and deep emotional bonds, inheritance, taxes, and joint ventures. The eighth house, transformation, shared resource. You got the ninth house, higher learning and philosophy, exploring the quest for meaning, expanding your horizons through travel, spiritual and philosophical views and beliefs. Your 10th house is your career and public image. This is where your ambition, your professional success, recognition, reputation, public persona, social status. Then you got your 11th house, community and social connections, friends, like-minded individuals, social causes and humanitarians, aspirations and future goals. Then you got your 12th house, spirituality and subconscious, retreat and solitude for inner growth, secret hidden strengths and limitations, karmic patterns, and releasing the past. Okay, so just let's touch on the houses real quick. The hardest, so I get asked this question through my study, the hardest houses to actually grasp the concept for a lot of people is the 8th, the 9th, and the 12th. Okay? And the easiest houses is probably the second, because everybody want to know about their money. But the way that I remembered it was the first house is myself, the second house is my money, the third house is my communications and my siblings. It's my learning, my schooling. Let's say school. Third house is my schooling. The fourth house is my family. So the fourth house is all about me. The first four houses is about me. It's me, my money, my siblings, connections, communications, my mental abilities, and my home. Then you got the fifth house, my self-expression. That's about me too. But also about romantic relationships and pleasure and creativity. The sixth house. So this is where I have fun at. So let's say I'm at home. The fifth house is where I have fun. I express myself. It's my children. It's the house of children too. Then you got your sixth house. This is your work ethics, your contribution to others. This is your well-being, your daily routine. Let's say your daily routine. So let's say the first six houses. The first house is yourself. The second house is your money. The third house is how you communicate. The fourth house is your home. The fifth house is how you express yourself. And the sixth house is your daily routine. Then you switch over. And then you got the next six houses. The seventh house is about relationships. It's who you're in a relationship with. The 8th house is shared resources and intimate, deep emotional bonds that you share with other people, their taxes, other people's resources, basically. Then you got the 9th house. It's a little higher than the 3rd house. 3rd house is, basic learning communications, a basic understanding. The 9th house is a higher learning. It's a philosophy, a higher learning, like really expanding your mind. Then your 10th house is your career. Your 11th house is your social connection, your friends, your groups. And then the 12th house is your subconscious mind. One word, 12 houses. Boom, you'll be good. BS you not. Okay. So that is the 12 houses. Simplified, broken down. Break it down. Follow me. Many miles. Okay. So now, before we move, I had did a TikTok video and also did another video. I haven't uploaded yet. It's on Kanye West's charts, where my first video I was explaining where the elements were in the chart, where the modalities were, where you need to look for certain things at, and then I actually did the video with doing Kanye's to show everybody. So what I was saying, I can look at a chart and I could tell a lot about a person without even breaking their planets down or anything, just by looking at their planet patterns, their quadrants, the hemispheres, the elements, modalities, okay? And the dominant houses, all that other stuff too. But right now I just want to focus on the planet patterns, the quadrant, and the hemispheres. And they are house related because they got to do with the house. And the angular, succeedent, and what's the cadent? So I think it's 4 different topics I just said. So before I break them down, we have 4 quadrants. So what I would do is I would look at the natal chart. And did I ever even say what a natal chart is? The natal chart is a snapshot of the sky at the time you were born. It's like your own personal roadmap. And I'll do an episode and get deeper into that. I do apologize. So we got 4 quadrants. And we got the hemispheres. It's the eastern, the western, and we got the north and south. And then the next episode, I will break those down for ya. Okay. Hey. I am back with part 2 of the astrological houses and more. All right, so let's get into it. I didn't want to really tell you, but I just said a whole 2 or 3 paragraphs and I didn't even push record. So, joke's on me. So anyways, guys, when I'm looking at a chart, the first thing I look at is the pattern of the planets. The pattern of the planets can tell me a lot about a person's personality, their behavior, their themes, just by looking at the planet patterns without never even breaking the chart down. It's a few things that I do before I even start to break the chart down to tell me some insights about people, and I'm gonna go through them with y'all. And it's just the houses. So I'll look at the planet pattern. I say, So depending on the way the pattern is, it'll tell you some things. So we got the splash pattern. I believe I got six notes down here. No, I got 8. Okay. So the splash pattern, these planets are scattered across many houses and signs. So I would look at this. I would say, okay, so I see this person has diverse interests and talents. They're very adaptable and versatile. Boom. Just by looking at the pattern. Bundle pattern. So it's a splash pattern, a bundle pattern. These planets are all concentrated within a span of 120 degrees of 4 signs and houses. And this right here would suggest a focused, concentrated personality, often very specialized in certain areas of life. You might have your bow pattern. And these are planets that are contained within 180 degrees or 6 houses consecutive. This reflects a person who is introspective, self-sufficient, often motivated by they're often motivated word salad. They're often motivated by a sense of lack or a quest to fill a void. Then you got the bucket pattern, and this is similar to the bow pattern, but with one planet called the handle is opposite the rest of the planets. And this will indicate a person with a specific focus or mission, with the planet on the other side, the handle planet, acting as the focal point for the energy and effort. Then you got the locomotive pattern. These planets are distributed across 240 degrees, leaving a 120-degree gap. And this suggests a dynamic, driven individual with a sense of purpose and direction, often very, very, very goal-orientated. Got the seesaw pattern. These planets are grouped into two opposing clusters. This reflects a person who's experienced internal conflict and contrast, often striving to balance opposing forces in their life. Then you have the splay pattern, and these planets are grouped in three more clusters, spread evenly across the chart. And this indicates a person with multifaceted personality, capable of dealing with diverse situations and often unconventional in their approach. And then you got the last but not least, the fan pattern. And this is kind of similar to the bucket pattern, but the handle planet is more integrated into the main group, and it creates like a fan shape. This suggests a person with a strong central focus, yet capable of expending their efforts into multiple areas. Say that shit, girl, say that shit. So that would be the planet pattern. So then I would look at the hemispheres, and I would say, okay, do they got more houses on the east side or the west side? Now follow me. When you're looking at the natal chart, it's a reverse. The east side become the west side, and the west side become the east side. So if I'm looking at my chart, the left side of my chart would be my east instead of my west. So if I'm looking at the east, that's houses 1 through 6. If this person has more planets on this side, this tells me something about this person, that they're self-driven. They have a self-driven personality, identity, and they have control. It's associated with personal initiative, independence, self-expression. Planets on this side indicate a person who is more reliant and proactive in shaping their life. They tend to take charge of their own destiny rather than waiting for others to influence them, and they really feel like they can will their own destiny. That's me. All my planets is on one side. I don't even think I have any planets in the houses 7 through 10. No, I don't. Through 7 through 10. The Western, this person is more focused on relationships. Their interaction with others and external influences was more. That's how they're more driven that way. This chart is more relational, reflecting how the individuals interact with and influenced by other people outside in the outside world. And planets on this side also indicate that a person's life is shaped more by their relationships, their partners, and their external circumstances. So the characteristics here will be external relationships, adaptability, social awareness, and they experience life as being shaped by the interaction of others, basically. Their external forces come from relationships. The Eastern comes from self. All right, so that would be the Eastern and the Western. And then you have the North and the South, which is planets on the top part, top part of the bottom part. Duh. I don't know why I said that. Just forgive me for that, because I did not mean that anyway. Okay, so the chart is divided in the two hemispheres, the North and the South. The North has the first 6 houses, 1 through 6. And this would represent, kind of break the houses down, basically. So it represents self, personal finances, communications, relation to home, basically the individual's personal development, their daily life and private experiences. The houses in this hemisphere, it emphasizes the internal, more introspective aspects of life. And of course, the other 7 through 12 is Southern. This person is, again, this emphasizes external relationships and how individuals engage with the world around them, as opposed to the Eastern, which focus more on self and personal identity. So boom, there you would have the hemisphere. So just looking at that to tell you what drives this person. Are they self-driven or are they driven by other people? Boom. Then you would look at the quadrants. And this is divided into 4, right? And each of them containing 3 houses. The first quadrant would be the first, second, and third house. Second, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Third, 7th, 8th, and 9th. 4th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And you can guess it. they represent different areas of life and the way you interact with the world. So, of course, the first three houses, because, it's yourself, your personal finances, and your communication. This quadrant is more concerned with personal identity, values, and emphasize self-awareness and personal resources. That's where most of mine are. Your second quadrant would be personal and private life, because this would be your fourth, fifth, and sixth house. Remember, this is your home, your self-expression, and your daily routine. This is emphasized on personal growth and development in private spheres, though, because the bottom part of your chart is more private. The top part of your chart is not private. So these houses are at the bottom. You got your third quadrant. This right here, of course, the houses of relationships, and long distance travel. So this quadrant's about relationships, and it interacts with the world. It emphasizes partnership, shared experiences, and personal belief. And the fourth quadrant is the houses 10, 11, 12. And this is more of a public life, social interaction, inner reflection. It emphasizes professional life, social contributions, and spiritual insight. So this is what this person focuses on more. So boom, there you have it. You look at the quadrants, you look at the hemisphere, and this tells you, now just imagine, this gives you a whole overview of somebody. Just that quick. You're like, okay, well, this person, so this person is focused on self-awareness. But, you could just break them all down, everything I just said to you. The quadrants, the hemispheres, the eastern and western side of the chart. We did the planet patterns. We did the houses. And I believe that is it. That's exactly what I look at, guys, first. And then I do the elements, and then I do the modalities. And then I start to look for patterns in the chart and things like that. But I'm going to finish this segment up. I got another surprise segment for y'all. I'm going to talk about the house oppositions in astrology in this next segment. So be there or be square.